right, YouTube. Um, what I got here today is, I'm going to say it's a brother and sister. Um, I have two 22 long rifles that I recently purchased within the last 2 weeks. The first one was about 2 weeks ago. I picked up the Savage Mark II, minus the butt pad and the cheek rest and bipod. It was just a factory bolt action with iron sights. And the second one was a Model 62 Savage, semi-automatic, magazine fed. I picked both of these up at Walmart. The 62 model came in at $99, and the bolt action came in at $147, I want to say. So what I've got these for is Boy Scout training. We are going to New Mexico here in about a week, and we're going to be going to shoot shotgun and rifle. BSA allows Boy Scouts to shoot the 22 rimfire. So I decided to go ahead and use that as a reason to buy a couple of 22 plinkers. Now I've got a couple other 22s, but they're semi-automatic, more specialized, or novelties like the M1 carbine and the SVD. So what I'm going here is just standard, 22 bolt action and semi-automatic, so the boys can use. So let's go ahead and look at the first one we got here. The first one we got is, of course, the Model 62. Oh, just dropped the 10-round magazine. Hopefully that doesn't come out. Of course, you get the safety lock, earplugs, and the manual. The Model 64 and the 62. The 64, I did convert into the SVD, as you guys have seen in some of the earlier videos. So that one, I'm not going to disassemble that one to get back to the normal rifle. So for $100, I went with this option. I did have a second magazine. I never did get around to making the second SVD magazine, but that saved me. One of these will go for about 17, 18, 19 bucks, 20 bucks at the most. And I do need to pick up one for the bolt action. And these right here are going for $18, about $18, depending on where you shop. They have a 5 and a 10 round. They're both the same price. They were out of the 10 rounds when I went to go look, so I didn't want to waste money on a 5-round magazine. So I'm going to hold out here and look around and probably pick one up sometime this week if I could find it at one of my local shops. So as you can see, the two types of magazines, you have a straight and then a slightly curved banana style. Both 10 rounds, both 22 long rifle, I'm sorry. They don't fire short, they do not fire longs, so they're just the long rifle itself. Let's go ahead and get a little closer look at the actions on both these rifles. Okay, so as I stated before, we've got the bolt action. They both have the similar safeties, as you can tell. The action, of course, is different. This one is a bolt, this one is a semi. This one is tapped for putting on a scope mount, but I don't plan on using that because we're going to be using the iron sights on both of these for the Boy Scouts, keeping it very simple. Very short action, pretty smooth. I know some of you guys are going to flinch when I do this. Very simple, trigger. No accu trigger, so there's no taking up of the slack. Don't need to confuse the boys with anything like that. Semi-automatic, of course. I'm going to charge it. All right. A little bit stiffer trigger on the semi. I don't know why, but I'll look at the factory specs. You're looking probably 5, 6, maybe even 7 pounds. This one right here, of course, is a little bit lighter. All right, I did add a bipod onto this one. I took this one off an older rifle for benchtop shooting. This one, of course, is going to be used using sandbags and maybe standing, kneeling, and prone. So really didn't feel the need to put one on here. This one's going to be the simple one. Mainly the boys will be getting instructions on the bolt action, and then we'll use the semi-automatic to augment the training. The standard is to get a particular number. I think it's 5 shots into the size of a quarter. Basically, that just shows that the boys are maintaining a good sight picture and are able to stick with the fundamentals and the follow-throughs of shooting a 22 rifle. Both rifles, crown barrels. This one has more of a matte finish. This one has a blued finish. Don't know the particular reason for that. They also have an adjustable front post sight. This one I put a small dot of white. This one I'm going to put another white dot to help with the sight picture for the scouts. Other than that, these rifles are both pretty much the same length. Now the synthetic plastic stock on it is pretty much the same on both. I mean, they're almost identical except for the cutouts for the bolt action, and slightly different for the magazine wells. As far as the butt and the comb, pretty much the same. A little bit of variation here as opposed to here, but otherwise they're, they feel exactly the same in your hand when you're got them up against you. Some of the cons on these rifles. This one right here, of course, got the banana style, and this one has a straight angle to the rear. Differences in how you release the magazine. This one has a metal release, which falls, pretty free. Not too bad, not too sturdy. I wouldn't really rack on it. This one, on the other hand, you have to push up and forward, which is kind of a pain, getting your finger and pushing up and forward. On my SVD, what I did was I tapped into the plastic, the metal, and put a small screw. I don't know if you'd call it a screw, but it's like an Allen head hex screw, and just threaded it in there, and so I can use my finger or my thumb on the side as opposed to go from the front of the magazine. That's the only drawback to these magazines releases is, I mean, it's not like it's a struggle to take them out or anything, but this one right here, pretty simple. Pulls out, snaps in. This one, you gotta put a little bit into it, a little bit of effort. It'll take some getting used to with the boys. Safety is very similar. The action needs to be charged in order to place it into a safe mode. There we go. And this one right here as well needs to be charged, placed in safe. I'm going to go ahead and highlight the safe on there for ranges, so RSOs can verify that the firearm's on safe. Other than that, I mean, these rifles are pretty basic. Don't want to say cheap, but they're very affordable, and they'll do the trick for what I need them to do, and that is for training. Sturdy, lightweight stock, simple to use action for both semi and bolt. So hopefully tomorrow I can go ahead and take these two out and put some rounds through them and see how they fire 25 and 50 yards. So there we go, the Mark II and the Savage Model 62, 22 bolt action and 22 semi-automatic, both magazine fed. We're going to take them out and see what we can do with them tomorrow. So I took the rifles out to the range today, and I started off using Remington Golden bullets. At first I was a little confused. The
about the impact, and I figure, well, it's just the sights. You know, I gotta make adjustments to the sights. As you can see here, the left side I was shooting with Remington on the semi-automatic. The right side I was using the Mark II with the bolt action. So I was shooting high right with the Mark II and all over the place with the semi. I then switched up to MkII ammo. I had high velocity and standard velocity. I used standard velocity in the bolt action, and my shot groups tightened up. I was using a bipod, but they tightened up really, really nice. Still up and to the right, but the shot groups tightened up. Now with the semi, I used standard velocity, and it would not cycle in the semi. It would failure to fully, reload the ammunition. But once I put the high velocity in, I had no issues. At the end of the day, I started shooting a newer target with silhouettes. The tighter shot groups are going to be on the top. That was with the MkII ammo. The bottom was with the Remington Golden bullets. Then I also broke the Henry rifle out and put Remington Golden bullets in there, and I was shooting headshots. Now that seemed to do pretty good with the Remington ammo. You could put anything in a Henry's and it'll fire it just fine.
Another quick thing that I wanted to show you that I bought recently. Yeah, go ahead, say what you want about Harbor Freight tools. I mean, hey, they sell tools. If you're not a professional, great. If you're going to use your saw twice a year, even better. A new line that they came out with to go up against Pelican. Of course, no way would these ever be Pelican cases, but these plastic cases that they're now selling by a company, I guess, the import, called Apache. This one is an Apache 1800 weatherproof protective case with pick-apart foam. It's dust-proof. It's got a rubber gasket around. It's pretty strong. This one I hear measures 8 3/8 by 5 11/16 by 3 1/4 is what this information states. And it's probably for small cameras, maybe you have a handgun, something like that. What this one does come with, I mean, I got a coupon on it on the mail. So if you get the Harbor Freight, flyers or the Harbor Freight emails, this one right here was $9.99. So it was like $10.80 out the door, I think it was. Normally they're like $15, so save $5. Makes a great little camera case. It's got foam protection on top, and it gives you 3 layers of pluck foam and a bottom layer. So more or less stacks in here like this. And then you go ahead and add whatever you want as far as how deep you need it. I haven't decided what I want to put in here. It won't fit a handgun, a full size, but a small compact one it will. It's got a pressure valve release in the event, the elevation change, etc. Other than that, it's not a bad, for $10, you can't beat it. It also locks. I mean, this one's probably too small to ship a firearm in, as you can see, my hand. But, putting small camera stuff in, throw it in the back of your truck, put some ammo, $10, use the coupon, can't beat it. I mean, Harbor Freight's got some stuff, that surprises me once in a while, that I'll go out of my way to actually get. But we'll see what we do with this. I might make it a GoPro camera accessory junk box or something. You could probably put a small, very small compact pistol in here. You see I got a new background. I got the Whoopi's ugly sister, the digital ACU. I just needed something bigger than my last one. But I just wanted to, throw this in there. So if anybody was interested, I mean, it's not bad for $10. Try to get that coupon. Get a couple of these for a little over $20. Go for it. All right. Thanks a lot.